This time I am going to give you some basic idea about AngularJS unit testing, and this is some the frameworks you can use with AngularJS for unit testing. And this time I am going to use Jasmine interface for this unit testing. I am going to import all the Jasmine libraries. Actually, Jasmine is used for BDD and TDD development, behavior driven developments and test driven developments when you use AngularJS into your projects. And I am going to use that Jasmine library here to give you a basic idea. This is actually giving you a basic idea about unit testing. And I need Angular. I'm going to add Angular library here. Right, and for a testing I need Angular mock library also. I'm going to use Angular mocks, right, and I can add it to the project. Angular mocks, right. I'm going to remove some unwanted taggings, and I'm going to format the code with the libraries. First I'll have my Jasmine libraries, after that Angular library, and the my own library finally. Right, I have a body tag without anything inside of the body tag, and now I'm going to my script file. I'm going to type Angular module here. This module will be named as module x35, and can have controller, and my controller name is controller. I'm having function. I'm going to create controller function, right, and I'm going to use the scope here. And I'm going to add just a function that will do the sum. Scope dot sum function. Actually I'm going to do unit testing to this function, and in the function I'm going to declare two variables, scope dot z equal scope dot x plus scope dot y. This is actually just a sum function. I'm going to check this function using the unit testing. This function is working correctly. I'm going to create the test code. I'm going to start with the describe. I'm going to describe. What I'm going to check, I'm going to just check calculator. This is just a sum calculator function, and this field testing code. I'm going to tell before each. I'm going to capture the module here using app35, because this testing is not belong to module, because this testing is not belong to this application. That's why I'm going to import that application into my testing framework. I'm going to create a variable for controller, right, and same thing, I'm going to get that controller. I'm going to inject all the modules inside of that application. This actually you don't want to remember these things. Controller, this is how we are going to use it, that's it. Actually dollar mark controller going to equal controller, right? Now I am going to describe for a function. This is function called sum, and just function it. I'm going to give the criteria in the string format. 1 plus 2 should equal to 3. This is just a string to display in the screen. This is my expectation function. I'm going to create a scope array and controller equals that controller in my application, that's controller, and that scope I need to equal to that my created scope, right? Now I need to equal some variables to scope x equal 1 and scope y equals 2, and I'm going to call the function scope sum inside of my controller, and my expectation expect scope z, and it must be, that means to be 3. That's my expectation. We'll see what it will return actually. Close these tags. We'll run the application and see. Yes, it runs. I have no failures. This is actually a Jasmine interface to testing things. This is a calculator. This is what I declared here, and the sum, this is what described here, and 1 plus 2 should equal to 3. We will change this one and see. I just put x as 2 and run. Yes, you can see it's failure. Expected 4 but to be 3. You can see 2 into 4, but I'm expecting 3. That means we will change y as 1. Yes, it's correct, and 2 plus 1, it must be 3. And yes, I think you understood about simple unit testing, what I did here, and I have used that Jasmine framework to do the unit testing using Angular mock. And Jasmine is very user friendly to use with TDD and BDD, and you can use this one to test any type of functions inside of your controller. You can have your controllers and all the things in the outside, and you can have this testing in the separate files, and you can do the testing.